Do you ever come to a point in your life that you're just so busy, there's so many things that you have to do or get done in the day, and there's just not enough of you to do them? And you need a clone of yourself so you can edit videos or eat. Don't mind him, he's the dumb one. But today I'm going to show you how to clone yourself. Let's do it. Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys on how to clone yourself in Premiere Pro. You could do 2 clones, 1 clone, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to go over, before you go into Premiere Pro, you want to kind of make your life easier with doing the shot. So setting up the shot is pretty key on where you place yourself, because in Premiere Pro you're going to end up masking in between on one of the clips, so your other clip pops up. I'll end up showing you in Premiere Pro. Where you stand in video is key, super key. You also want to use a tripod. Will make your life a lot easier. If you're moving the camera around or have someone holding the camera, it's going to be very difficult to do this. So have a tripod, make sure you're standing in the right spot. And then with audio, you'll want to have, what I do is I have a little recorder, or I use my phone. I'll put my phone off to the side and turn the recorder on. Then on the second shot, I'll turn that recorder on, just place it down by my feet so I can kind of hear it, so I can answer myself back or do facial expressions, like body expressions with what the other person says. It'll make your life 110 times easier if you do it that way, because you'll only have to take the 2 shots or 3 shots that you end up doing in the first place, rather than doing 20 of them, because you're just guessing on the audio and trying to time yourself right on how to set it up. So let's go ahead and jump into Premiere Pro. As we hop into Premiere Pro, I created a sequence already. It's called How to Clone. We're gonna go ahead and drag in our shots that we got, and drag and dropping into the timeline with one of the shots, and it'll set up the sequence. I'm not going to change the sequence settings for now. It was shot with 4K 60 FPS, but I'm just going to leave the settings for now. In this video, I ended up going into the sequence settings and changing that to 1080p, but I won't get into that. We're just going to get into how to clone yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and take the pieces and then try to line them up on when I shot them. I'm going to have to use the audio, hence why I'm wearing these headphones right now, and use the audio to kind of time them so the facial expressions and everything lines up perfectly. Alright, so this part isn't too bad. You'll notice that on the timeline that I have down here, you can open them up by double clicking, and you can see the peaking with the audio. You can clearly see that the bottom one that I have, I was using my phone, so you can't really see the peaks. So you'll have to mute the first one and kind of get an idea of the loudest part of that clip. So right there it says come to, and then on the top clip, well, I'll just take this little peak right here where it says come to and line it up with wherever it says it in here. So right here it says come to, and then I'm going to take this peak and just line it up so it makes sense, and you can zoom in so it just lines up perfectly. A little too far. Here we go. This might be a little bit easier. Kind of see where I put it. So perfect. So that lines up perfectly right there, and you can go ahead and pull that clip out to make it even. And we're gonna go ahead and mask the first clip. So this is what you do. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the first clip and put it on the top. So the first clip of me sitting in the chair. What you want to do is go into your effects and controls, go to the beginning of all the clips that you have lined up so far, and click on the masking tool, which is under opacity right here on the left hand side under the effects control panel. And you want to start masking a path around your picture. And right here I enabled the stopwatch to start keying everything. Go ahead and click on the mask and then just start masking around your body, and then connect those 2 points, and you can go ahead, pull those down, and kind of go ahead and even these out. Oops. And if you pull down on them, you can round them off if you want, so it works with rounded parts of the chair. But you kind of get the idea on how to mask with that. So now if I play it back, it's obviously going to go through, and it's going to have the clip underneath it as well. It's a little choppy right now. It's because it hasn't been rendered yet. But if you notice, if I click on this other clip, you'll see the line going around me. It's a pretty noticeable line. In order to get rid of that, you'll want to go into that path, go back to the beginning of your clip so you don't mess up any of the keyframes. With that top clip that you masked out, go ahead and go down to the mask feather. And what it's going to do is it's going to feather that line so it kind of just blends in. So I'm just going to go ahead and feather it to like 20, 22, I guess, and see what it looks like. So you can see that it's still kind of sharp right here on this line, and right in here too. Shadows can also play a huge factor in wanting to do this, but you can see as I drag it farther to the right, you see how that feathers out nicely. So it's at 50. I'm just going to set it to 50. Yeah, 55. And I mean, it's not super noticeable, but it works.
Do you ever come to a point?
So now you have a clone of yourself sitting in the background, and you can have yourself sitting in the front just like that. So we have the first clone down, and you want to be super careful when you're doing these shots too about your movements and happening to get into other frames and stuff. When you're masking, it's going to be super hard. So I kind of tried to stay contained to the chair and not go outside of the chair, so I didn't go over this line. I had the idea in mind, and you kind of want to do that going into it as well. So when I go ahead and play this back for you, you'll see that when I point, I don't go over that line, that chair. I try to stay contained, but just to give you an idea. So right there, you can see that my hand is just right along that line I feathered out, but it looks good. So I try to stay contained to the chair. I didn't want to put my arm out here, because then if you do that, you're going to end up getting into masking by frame, and that can be kind of tedious. So my thing I can't hit more is always set yourself up for success when taking the shot at first, and it'll make your life so much easier when it comes to doing this.
Edit videos, or...
Alright, next we're going to get into the third clone. And I had this third clone sitting on the chair on this left side right here, and like I said, I set myself up to kind of have some space in here to play with, and I kept myself contained to the chair so I didn't go over that line that I'm going to end up creating. This one's a little bit easier to do because I set myself up so well. I gave myself more room here to play with than right here in between the chair, but it still worked out pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and get into this third clip. So the first things first with this next one, we got to go through the audio, make sure we can get that lined up with the previous clips that we just made. Go ahead and find those audio peaks with the Do You Ever Come to Realize. Line that up with the other audio that we have. Zoom in on that so we can see where the Come to Realize is at. So that peaks right there, and we need to line this up with this peak right here because that's where it says Come to Realize. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and zoom in on this timeline so we can line up that audio perfectly, and we're just gonna try to align that as best we can, and that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and play it back just to see what it sounds like.
Do you ever come to...
Perfect, right on point. So then we're gonna go ahead and extend that out so we can line them all up, and then go down here and cut that. And to cut, I've been using the shortcut key. If you don't know how to cut clips, you hit C and that will pop open the little razor blade there, and you can go ahead and cut clips. And to get back to your regular pointer, you just go ahead and hit V and it'll go back. There we go. All right, so now once we have those all lined up, we're gonna go ahead and mask the second clip, which is the one of me sitting in the chair here. We've already masked the one of me sitting right here in the center, and the final one to mask is the second one where I'm sitting right here. So we're gonna do the same thing we did with the first clip. We're gonna go into opacity, hit the pen tool, click mask path. We're gonna make sure we're at the beginning of all of our clips on the timeline, mask the path, and go ahead and click on the mask so we can bring out the pen tool. And we're gonna go ahead and do our little drawing and connect all the dots. There we go. I'm gonna pull this off to the side so it's not in that. And we're gonna go ahead and feather it to 55 like the last one, just to see how it looks. Might as well do it. If not, we can do more. Let's just do like 70 and see how that looks. So we have a pretty, from the shadow of me sitting in the chair, you're gonna see this line. What you can do is just kind of mess around until it looks good to you, I guess. Whatever you prefer. But you can kind of try to go right on where the last one was masked if you want, with the first clip that we have here, and just kind of go along that line if you'd like and see how that looks. It's still a pretty harsh line, but we can go ahead and try to feather it a little bit more, feather it out, just to kind of make it look a little more subtle.
Do you ever come to a point
so it's not too noticeable, but it is there. And then once we're all done with all these clips, we're gonna go ahead and render them out, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so this is the final product. This is what it comes out looking like after you're done masking and feathering.
Do you ever come to a point in your life that you're just so busy, there's so many things that you have to do or get done in the day, and there's just not enough of you to do them?
Well, there you go. That is how to clone yourself in Premiere Pro. Just basics on how to set up the shot, setting up your audio, and bringing it all into Premiere Pro and being able to mask it out. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. If you guys end up doing it out there, send me some of your clips. I'm kind of curious to what they look like. I've done this in the past on a few of my videos, and I felt it would be kind of cool to show you guys how to do it. It's kind of weird, and I don't know, it's fun to do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I explained that well. Slap the thumbs up button if this helped you out in any way, or if you want me to do some more tutorials on how to do certain things that I do in my videos. Subscribe to the channel because it supports the channel and it gives me a little motivation to keep doing what I do. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace out.
Man, what are you doing? We're supposed to be going to Moses Lake this weekend.
It's Shark Week, dude.
It's not even Shark Week.
Nice try. Whatever.